Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I got a very interesting article. Some people are celebrating, some people are, not too many people are actually looking at it from a cost benefit angle. And I will look not only through that lens of cost benefit, I will also get through a power um, lens and then a balance of power and dominance, which actually matters because that influences the cost and benefit, obviously. So this article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine from today, 1st of July, 2022. Excuse me. And this is the title. For the first time in history, US gas supplies to Europe exceeded Russia. So, um, what do you think about that? All right, for the first time in history, liquefied natural gas supplies to Europe from the United States in June of this year have exceeded pipeline gas supplies from Russia. Russia's recent steep cuts its natural gas flow to the EU means that is the first month in history in which the EU has imported more gas via LNG from the US than via pipeline from Russia. Well, how did that happen? Was that a was that a natural course of a capitalist form of competition? Like, for instance, we go on in the marketplace, and I come with my produce here, and I ask for a certain price for, let's say, my tomatoes. When you come over here with your product and you ask for a certain price for your tomato, did this occur like that? And then that would be fair, straight competition between us right here. I grew my tomatoes, you grew yours. I come with them, they look like as they look, yours look as they look. I ask for this price, we can negotiate. He asks for that price, you can negotiate. And the buyer, the customer decides. Decides based on what? On cost benefit. All right. Is it cheaper here at Emil's, but his oranges, his tomatoes look like crap? Well, I'm going to buy this one, which is more expensive, but look good. So I have to pick up benefit, cheaper Emil, but look like crap, or expensive Tom, but they look good. So which one? So I have to wrestle with this idea. Or maybe they look good the same way, but Emil sells it for less, and this guy sells it for more. So then it's obvious that you're going to buy the same product at which one offers a cheaper price. That was the case with gas in Europe. Russia sold its gas much cheaper than the United States, produced it, transported, however you want to call it. So the customers of Europe said, good gas, cheaper price, bring it on. How much you have, how much we're going to get it. Now, the other guys who lost the competition, the fair competition, they lost. They said, well, you know what? You're going to depend on the Emil's customer, the tomatoes, because you buy only from Emil's tomato. Yeah, but I like it and it's cheap. Yeah, but if he's not going to sell you tomatoes, you're not going to have some tomatoes anymore. So what do you propose? Do you propose to buy only from you? So then you can be in control and power. And when you don't sell it to me, I don't have tomatoes anymore. I have to go and look then. So I have to give some of my, how should I put, sovereignty, independence. I have to give some of it. I have to take a chance. I'm going to buy from this guy because it's a contract. All right, contract is a contract. You know, you know how that goes. But the same thing would be with you, unless you think that this is a thug and you're the good guy, or vice versa, vice versa. But you take chances, and you take and you take calculated risks, and you do it with this guy and that guy. So he was no sign in the past 30 years or 20 some years since Europe gets this kind of gas and more gas from Russia, that Russia would switch off its flow. Nevertheless, the other guys who were a little bit upset, to put it mildly, because they couldn't compete with these guys fair and square in the marketplace, tried to poison my ear, Europe, that those guys are the bad guys and they will do it to you. They will, you'll see. Just to, like the other guys, if I would buy it from these guys, would say the same thing. Yeah, you'll see. Okay. So since this could not compete, United States could not compete gas with Russia, they took the chance with the war somewhere else. Let's say it was a war between, I don't know, North Korea and South Korea. Should Europe get involved in that? Well, let's get something even, I don't know, Nepal and Bangladesh or something, that really far away and not really, something that would disrupt anything on this planet. It's just some people are bad, let's say, and some people are good, and they're gonna scuffle based on some problems. Now you have the choices to intervene or not, but it's your choice. So this Ukraine and Russia, I'm not going to get into how they got in this and all that, because many fingers will be pointed to the good guys. So I know that's not the purpose here. And the good guys are right there, right here, actually. Not me, but and so anyway. So this guy said, okay, we denounce that. We don't like that. What happens in Ukraine, blah, 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 blah. But the big guy had other plans. He had the plan with how I'm going to get the market from those guys that I wasn't able to compete. So what they do, they came and said, hey, it's not enough just to denounce it. You have to shoot yourself in the foot to prove that you really mean it. And Europe, since it's not a sovereign entity, and most countries are not, and their leaders are not, and I'm saying that because they are on the payroll and they know who's who and what's what, they said, okay, we place sanctions. Not only, it's not enough. You got to close that pipeline with the gas coming from Russia, because we always told you that Russia will turn it off. Russia did not turn anything. They turn it off by sanctioning Russia. And guess what happened the second when that happened? These guys who were not able to compete with their tomatoes because they were crap and expensive, they filled the gap. And now, for the first time in Europe, whenever the Russian gas gets in Europe less than American gas. Not by fair competition, by sanctions that we, the customer, imposed on itself at the threat of the big boss, of the other competitor. So I go to the marketplace and Emil and Tom tells me, don't buy from Emil, because I will slap you. Buy from me. And I would say, okay, and I buy from him. And then people say, first time when the customer buys from Tom more than Emil. Good, because but everything was manufactured, everything was worked on by those guys. So yeah, Europe buys more gas from the United States. And I have to add, cost benefit, more gas at a higher price. So I get the same shit, or even worse, from the United States at the higher price. I get a tomato, which is not better than that tomato, at the higher price. And who's paying? The citizens of the countries who decided they can shoot themselves in the foot and are afraid to challenge the boss. So the citizens. There you have it. So when you hear this, like, oh my God, and then now, let's say United States turns off the liquefied natural gas shipments to Europe. What is Europe going to do? They can't go to Russia because these guys are going to punch them in the face. So who's in control of whom right now? More than Russia would have been, because now they have no options. They can't go back to Russia because these guys say, no, sanctions, they're the bad dudes. But if you don't do what I say, I will turn off the flow. So who's in control now more than the Russians would have been? Because if the Russians would have turned it off, you could have United States. But now you don't have Russia, you don't have United States. If United States is ready to, I'm ready, you do what I say, or you want me to shut it off? Do what I say. Blackmail and threats. So yeah, congratulations, Europe. That's where you are. More for the same or less product. and less options if that guy who controls you now more than the other guy. But they are the good people, the good guys. So good. So it's like you're raped by a good guy. Let's put it this way. And you pay for it. Someone rapes you, you pay for the rape, and but because the person is considered the good guy somehow, you should be okay. You're okay. Okay. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.